Hi guys, it's Jordan. How are you guys doing today? Welcome to a comedy special. Well, today we have something very important to talk about. Very important. Distracted driving. Thank you so much for coming. Welcome to Man versus Musk. A show, a call to action, a political movement that requires our attention and focus. More on the Musk mass matter later, okay? Again, I'm Jordan Skopp. I'm a lifelong New Yorker from Brooklyn. Yeah, Brooklyn. All right. Go Mets. Even though they're from Queens. Yeah. I am also a realtor and a wannabe do gooder. I've decided to dedicate this portion of my life to a specific important cause saving lives from distracted driving. Not bad, right? I mean, it could be worse. I could just be another well off jerk who doesn't do anything for anybody, right? In spite of the crazy and chaotic times we're living in, I believe that each one of us has the capacity to change the world for the better. That's right. One person, with the help of others, can change the world. Ordinary people like you and me. Some of you may already be making the world a better place in so many different ways, and I commend you for that. I want to join forces with you to take on all brands of distraction. So, what am I doing here? It's the same kind of filibuster. No, I'm not a lobbyist. I'm just making a personal appeal as a fellow human being. The writing is on the wall in regards to distracted driving. It alone, it's alongside us on the roads, on the TV, on the radio. I mean, it's there. How can we not feel and absorb what is happening? Some people ask me, Jordan, of all the issues, why this one? Why do you want to get involved with distracted driving? Why is this your concern? What's your origin story? Do you have a friend or a loved one who was a victim of distracted driving? The answer is no. Of course not. Why do we have to be affected by something to make real change? For those that have been affected by distracted driving, I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with you fighting because of that. All the power to all of you. All the people who have raised money and awareness, drive research, and make change for the better, who were personally impacted by the cause they are championing, you know. I'm just not that person. I've always had a sense of fairness. I don't like bullies or cheaters. I don't like when people are taken advantage of, manipulated, and marketed to in a way that puts themselves and others at risk of their safety. The point is that we have to discipline ourselves to be laser light focused, Stay on topic. Follow through. If we are ever going to accomplish anything at all, much less affect positive change, I'm here to shine a light. Ours is a culture of interruption. Human beings are easily distracted. Some of us have the attention span of a cocker spaniel. Cocker spaniel. We are living in distracted times, a time of multitasking. Some of you are checking your email, text, social media, even while I speak. I don't know how you're doing it, but you're doing it. You may not even realize that's what you're doing. No one is immune. None of us. We're all distracted with millions of thoughts running through our brains all the time. But please don't drive at the same time. That's all I'm saying. Pay attention to the road and to the other distracted drivers you have to deal with. Isn't that enough? You have to deal with those distracted drivers. Don't be one of them. The answer to this predicament lies within. I'm calling on a group effort to make individual personal change. Every one of us needs to pivot and do something to improve in the struggle against our own distraction, especially when we're in the car. We all have our idiosyncratic ways in the car of coping with the possibility of distraction. Is anyone keeping their cell phone in the back seat or out of plain sight? Are we too undisciplined to peek and put down the phone? Even at red lights? Abso-freaking-lutely. I think maybe we are. We cannot trust ourselves. Powerful forces are spending marketing dollars to vie for our attention. To varying degrees, we are all dysfunctional. Every distraction is an opportunity for somebody to sell us something, like on those radio, sports, or politic shows. We've got Joe from the shore calling from his car phone. Watch out for that 16th wheeler, Joe. You hear that screech? Terrible, terrible, terrible crash. Next is Pete from Staten Island, but seriously, shouldn't the sports radio hosts be instructing their large listening audiences, 40% of whom are listening in cars, to be legally parked while calling in to discuss politics or sports? Right? And it's not just the sports radio industrial complex encouraging us to drive distractedly. It's NPR and other call in radio stations as well. They know their callers are in cars. That's the demographic they want. That's who their sponsors are catering to. People driving in their cars. But it's not just the radio guys who are contributing. There was QB who had two ads in the 2020 Super Bowl, launched original programming only watchable on the phone. The billion-dollar media play crashed and fizzled faster than the 10-minute limit of original content you were supposed to watch. Seems they outsmarted themselves. Distracted drivers chose to indulge instead of in the distracted recreational playground of watching HBO Go, Netflix, Amazon, and Hulu. With the option to be watched on your phone. Sure, you don't have to watch it on your phone or when you're driving, but you can. And surely these companies fully expect that a significant percentage of their audience will. Netflix spent $13 billion on content in 2021. Would it be a big deal for them to portion a small amount of that to remind their viewers to watch shows responsibly? Same goes for all the other streaming content providers. As for Verizon, T-Mobile, AT&T, and others, yes, my phone occasionally asks me if I'm driving, but only sometimes. What's up with that? The message is easily circumvented by saying, no, I'm not. March 2021 was Distracted Driver Awareness Month for Verizon. Did you know it was Distracted Driver Awareness Month? I guess driver awareness isn't that important to them the rest of the year. The telecommunications company all have websites that say don't be a distracted driver, but why would anybody go to a website like that? They are doing the absolute minimum requirement and it's so obviously and painfully wrong. I propose that these companies be called out for not being good citizens. Do the right thing, the moral and ethical thing, because let's face it, these companies have not shown any regard for public safety. Look at those commercials that are clearly targeting 200 million potential distracted drivers. Yes, it is difficult to believe what has the world come to. They are selling cars that actually encourage distracted driving. They're paying ad agencies to come up with this. Look at this ad. Look at this. Look at the young woman taking selfies while they're driving. This kind of behavior should be discouraged. It should be unlearned. Instead, it's being celebrated as the norm. I have chosen to devote myself and my resources to starting this conversation because let's face it, somebody needs to do this. I am the self appointed czar battling against distracted driving, trying to create these difficult conversations and move us forward on some solutions to this problem. Okay. This issue, more than any other issue I'm working on, really needs $1 billion effort. I'm hoping that someone with deeper pockets than me will move up to step in my shoes and lead the way to safer, less distracted driving. In the event of my death, hopefully not by a distracted driver. I have instructed the executor of my estate to take out full page ads in major newspapers and publications warning the public against the perils of distracted driving. I understand this may seem excessive or over the top, but somebody has to start this conversation we're having with the rest of the Americans, okay? This is a bipartisan issue. This is something we can all get behind as Americans. No discussion of this topic can be complete without addressing the elephant in the room. Elon Musk built his electric car company Tesla around the promise that it represented the future of driving. However, Musk has been intentionally tone deaf to the epidemic of distracted drivers. Fact. He has built his empire disempowering drivers from the ability to pay attention and keep their ear and their cars focused on the road. Why are we giving up on our man's ability to be a safer and more effective driver than a robot? Have we thrown in the towel on fighting for mankind to be better than technology? Should we really give up control of our own fate so Elon Musk and others can profit? Why? Because he says we should? Have we really become that lazy? Tesla has a feature called ludicrous mode. I know it sounds like a power energy drink. It allows Tesla to go from 0 to 60 miles per hour without making a sound, which I guess is an important feature to have. It's innovations like this that are why Forbes magazine has called Elon Musk the richest man on the planet, and I would add also the greatest champion of distracted driving the world has ever seen. How can he talk about Mars and space exploration when he doesn't know or frankly care about what is happening on the ground on Route 22 here on planet Earth? The way to save lives is through behavioral science. That's the way to stop distracted driving, or what I think it should now be called destructive driving because it's much worse than being distracted when the result is lost lives and broken hearts. The way to stop destructive driving is to put down your phone when you're driving. It's just that simple. Put down the effing phone. Change your behavior. Shut out all the distractions competing for your attention and disposable income. Just drive. Please save a life. Save your life. Save someone else's life. I know it's easy to conceptualize and hard to do, but it can and it shouldn't be done. It shouldn't be something that is ignored. Shouldn't be something taken lightly. This is easily done. It only takes you a few seconds to put down your phone. Save someone's life, save your life. It's safe and it's the responsible thing to do. Musk has shown no interest in any of this. He is the billionaire promoter of distracted driving. He's built his wealth and reputation on the promise of self driving cars. Over and over, Musk has declared that truly autonomous driving is nearly here, the day when the Tesla could drive itself, which it turns out much further away than previous estimations, extolling the virtues of autopilot, leading drivers to falsely believe that it is safe to keep their eyes off the road. His own experts and advisors have told him he is creating a false understanding of what the engineers at Tesla originally called advanced sported driving. All the time, Musk has been misleading and missing the big picture. Every single step has been a misstep. Not telling people about the dangers of distracted driving, he's ignoring advice of experts, snubbing its nose at regulators. Why not take a little bit of corporate responsibility, Tesla, and say, pay attention, people? It's long overdue and never too late. Instead, from December 2020 to 2021, Tesla came out with a conscious decision to give drivers and front seat passengers in view of the driver the option to play games on a touchscreen on the dashboard while the vehicle is in motion. Drivers need to be paying attention to the one thing only, the road, not playing solitaire or any other games. It's difficult to fathom. The prompt asks you if you're driving and you can say no, and then you can play solitaire while you're driving, possibly on autopilot with your hands free. The autopilot that wasn't really meant to be called autopilot according to Tesla's own engineers, advisors, and experts. Because as we previously determined, that's not what it really does. It's really just advanced sported driving. One whistleblower forced Tesla to acknowledge this, and 500,000 cars had solitaire removed. Tesla made change through software update rather than a physical recall. This is serious. Real people's lives are in danger. The alarming increasing numbers of reported incidents with Tesla vehicles autopilot malfunctioning are building an evidence file that demonstrates dangerous business practices, and that's not the only one. Ever heard of phantom braking in Teslas? Google it. I'm not affiliated with any nonprofit or government regulatory agency. I am an ordinary citizen like all of you who shares the vision of safer roads, and I believe that automakers like Elon Musk bear direct responsibility for creating dangerous situations for drivers behind the wheel of Tesla vehicles. The so-called autopilot features are anything but foolproof or fully autonomous. Quite the opposite of real meaning of autopilot. Vehicles cannot be trusted to navigate and brake safely without human control and oversight. Customers are always asked to take part in experiments. They don't deserve to be a trillion dollar industry's guinea pig. These problems seem to all stem from Musk's efforts to oversell the capabilities of the Tesla. Other automakers are following along with that game plan, which are not performing the miracle functions that his reckless rhetoric suggests. His technologies are not as advertised, and human beings have been injured or killed because of all of these flaws. Musk's business decisions are hurting and endangering real people. It's time for him and others to acknowledge we're not in 2039. This year is 2022, and we got a serious problem with destructive driving. It's time for Elon to step up and be an honorable and responsible citizen. Again, never ever too late. Accident statistics are way up. People are driving impaired and distracted more than ever before. We are living during a global pandemic of distracted driving. Tesla's products are appealing to his dysfunctional market. It's just so upsetting. Oh my gosh, so upsetting. The fact that people are driving impaired and distracted more than ever before. We are living during such a global pandemic of distracted driving. Tesla's products are appealing to the dysfunctional market, catering to distracted drivers in ways that make the problems worse. I am publicly inviting Elon Musk to discuss his responsibility to prioritize automobile and road safety above all other considerations regarding his technological experiments with Tesla. My appeal to him is simple: acknowledge and fix this mess. Prove that you can be relied upon with people's lives. You know what would be a nice gesture? Start by putting $100 for every one of the vehicles installed with solitaire and create a fund to educate every driver to the realities of the need to always pay attention behind the wheel. Your investment of 50 million would go a long way to demonstrate some personal responsibility and awareness of this issue. Elon, I hope you are willing to reflect on your mistakes and work towards a real commitment in road safety. Make your vehicles safer to operate by removing distractions from the cockpit and encouraging discipline behind the wheel. Those steps could help reduce distracted driving rather than adding to the problem. It's time for all car manufacturers to focus their efforts on figuring out how to protect human driving around the world in their cars. They deserve to arrive safely at their destinations. This is what we know. Human error will always exist, but the ability of humans to detect and react to risks on the road are superior to any existent technologies claiming to do it better than the human brain and senses. The reward for good driving should be plain and simple: the chance to hug your loved ones and the opportunity to drive again another day. Is that so ludicrous to ask for? I don't think so. Thank you. Man versus Musk.